Hi, it's Showing today by watching Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 5, Head On. I am so excited for this episode. It has been a couple of weeks since I've watched this because I had to get really ahead because I was busy from the first few weeks of September. So if I'm a little hazy on some of the specifics, that is why. Also my CFSME brain fog. But I love this show. I cannot wait to see where it goes next. A reminder that if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find all other reactions to this unedited on my Patreon, and let's go.
Okay, she's looking for a place to stay. It's just taking longer than expected.
How old is
starting
this
to think
child?
She's my mortal enemy. Okay.
I'm not okay with Lois getting her treatment at Bruno Mannheim's hospital.
I mean, no one is.
Am I the only one?
It's Lois's treatment. She's allowed to decide where she gets it.
Exactly.
Bruno Mannheim
The rest
stole
of us
your
aren't
blood
okay with it.
and then tried to blow up.
It's a very fancy place. I am so torn between being like, it's really good that they're kind of showing the reality of this, and also like, people go through this, we don't need to see the reality of it. Like, my mum has sat in that chair. I
Not so bad here.
need to watch someone else's.
You and I haven't been friends for like 10 years.
Well, yeah, he's a grown adult by the looks of things.
I know you cheated to beat my dad.
That is not true.
And that is the last thing this show needs right now. Ah, you tracked her down. Please be a sweet kid. I don't trust anyone. In fact,
If I can
down,
get
freaks
access
me
to
out.
Dr. Hope, just stay here.
And do what?
Cover for me. Done.
I'm stressed.
Cool guy. Right.
You can't be this suspicious of everyone. Would you? Are you this suspicious of the boys' girlfriends?
This is so crazy. I can't believe you're actually here.
I'm also distrustful.
A formal, you're not really dressed up.
Okay, well, I'll buy a suit. I'm sure there's
You
some place in
rich?
town that can hook me up.
How rich are you that you can
Seems like
a
a
teenage
lot.
boy?
Just go to some high school dance.
Not just a high school dance. A high school dance with you.
That is a very good line.
Okay.
Natalie deserves this. He better be as genuine and sweet as he seems, not
Please,
secretly
have
some
a
evil
seat.
person.
Excuse
You
me,
look
can I
very
help you?
suspicious.
Need a hand?
Teenage
Around
boy
here a
stops
while.
to help you out.
Oh, half a dozen cars driven by, and you know, Crew and I, we've been pretty swamped lately.
Is he gonna try and recruit him to be a firefighter?
Use an extra hand.
He's a
Wait.
high school student.
Seriously?
It was like I was the bad person, not his dad.
Oh yeah, his dad died. People.
I'm
people
afraid that
died.
Junior's not the only one who feels that way. Lana, well, unless people know the truth, they're gonna keep blaming you. If you want, I can help clear the air.
It's not gonna help things for Junior, but. And it's hard to kind of expose a dead dude.
We've both been through was where you're sitting with my daughter Diana. She had breast cancer. Took her 3 years ago this month. She would have turned 37.
Wow. I'm really sorry about your daughter.
Yeah.
Me too.
So much pain and loss in the world. I do kind of watch this show as an escapism from how depressing the world is, but okay. They're doing a brilliant job of making me depressed with the reality of it. Lois.
Where's Henry Miller?
He's not going to be in there under his own name. Shocking.
What I know is that you have Superman's blood and that you are having Dr. Hook somehow use it to make powered people.
This again. This is a cancer treatment facility.
Yes.
The only thing I'm doing
Up
here
here
is
it
trying
is.
to save lives.
I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, sir, just
This is
because
my
you do
state-of-the-art research
good
lab.
doesn't mean the evil you do just goes away.
Follow
That's
me.
not how it works. The good you do is how you hide behind it so that you get away with the evil. And even if you truly want to do good, you're still doing evil.
Best wing woman ever right here.
Oh, I don't trust him. I wish I could.
So much to talk about.
No, Natalie deserves this. Maybe I should just trust him.
Your wife, that feeling to give in to the
Yes,
disease
it's good. He's armed with all the information he can
gets to be
be.
so strong.
Hello, Smallville High. I just
Sorry, when that guy said to Sarah that they haven't been friends in years, I was really creeped out because I thought he was like 35. And he's a high schooler. Oh dear.
That was my Aunt Peggy. She called and she said that I can live with her in Topeka.
Topeka.
We can still see each other on weekends.
He's just given up his weekends.
It's a good thing I have my truck now.
That is good. She has family to go to. That's the important thing. When they were talking about her finding her own place, I was like, she's moving out? That makes sense.
I'm really glad.
I just feel like this is too good to be true, and I want it to be true so desperately.
You look so beautiful. Now I'm sorry. Nah.
Was built next to a chemical waste dump. No one even knew it was there.
That is
Tried to get the
despicable.
company responsible to help, but anyone gave a damn about some cleaning lady from the suicide slums.
That's wrong. And
After
heartbreaking
she
and
died,
hideous. But becoming a murderer
realized
yourself helps
no
nothing.
one was ever coming to save us. Everything you see here is an extension of that belief.
If you were only doing this, I would support you.
To the treatment center.
And it's not
I'll
even
have my
like
people-
he can claim, oh, I started out as a criminal because I had to make the money to save people or some ludicrous thing. He's still criminal.
Send over all of Dr.
You can do a lot of good, and even do a lot of good with genuine
I am going
intentions
to
and still be
scour
hiding
every
behind
inch
it.
of Dr. Hook's files.
Well, maybe this just isn't the right fit for you.
No, it's not that. It's just.
Sorry, he's a child. A teenager should be allowed some free time to enjoy. It's not, oh, perhaps you're not a right fit for this. Like, fuck you, Kyle, for even suggesting you should take up this kid's weekends. I mean, I get that it was like a good work ethic or whatever. Like, yeah, that's great. If anything, they should maybe talk to his parents and be like, he's really interested in pursuing firefighting as a career, and maybe he could cut down some of his shifts at the store and do some firefighting on like other days, you know. Jordan doesn't have to get a job. It was part. I know it's penance for his whole lying and everything, but you know, it's not like he wants to not go to his part-time job so that he can go play video games. He wants to not go to his part-time job so like. I hate that attitude of perhaps it's not a good fit for you. He's a child. He's allowed to want to enjoy his weekends.
I'm just so far behind everyone else in this kind of stuff.
No, you're not, my love. You're 16. Most 16-year-olds have zero experience. I know the media tries to sell some other story. It's just not true. Or even if it's not most. Like, most of my peers at 16 were pretty inexperienced. Like, it's okay. Honestly, TV shows can give you a real complex.
I can't go back in there.
Yes, you can.
He's
If
gonna
you
think
want
I'm
to
some
and
kind
feel
of weirdo.
comfy. Be honest with him.
Rick, you are the toughest kid I know. You can do this.
For them, my
Thanks,
grandsons. Oh. Oh.
Junior?
I'm so baffled. I mean, I'm sorry, he's doing a really good job. Like, I'm genuinely not critiquing this man's acting. Like, he is acting very well. But he just looks like such an adult. Why did they cast him? Okay, maybe when I was joking about him being 30 or 40, I was joking. But, like, I initially assumed that, oh, well, he's a decent chunk older than Sarah, so of course they're not friends. Not a peer.
I miss him, Sarah.
Of course you do.
Miss my dad.
Junior, come here.
Mr. Cushing said that he could only use me if it was on the weekends. Which means that the only way I could see you is.
If you turn it down.
Right, which I was
You
gonna.
can't do that.
No, I have to.
No, you don't.
There are, I mean, I'm sure, like, they could come to some kind of agreement where, like, given that he's 16 years old, at least one freaking weekend a month he could have to himself and they could meet up. And we live in the age of, I was going to say Skype. We don't really live in the age of Skype anymore. FaceTime and, you know, Discord and all the different ways you can stay in contact with people. I know it isn't a romantic relationship, and I'm in no way trying to say, oh, it's super easy to have a long distance relationship, but in 2023, it is a lot easier than it used to be. Like, you can be okay if you want to know your babies, and it's okay if you break up, but like, you can be okay.
I want to see you.
We'll figure something out.
You will. Talk on weeknights.
I love you, Candace.
On your way home from work, on your way
love
to
you
school.
too.
You'll find ways. They are very sweet, and I'm very glad that she was just immediately like, no, this is important to you, you should do it. And also that it wasn't like they saw it as like a, now we have to break up. Very mature of them.
But sometimes it feels like no one's allowed to have an opinion about your treatment other than you.
Because it's happening to me?
Yeah, I know. I get it. But
Lois, you can have the deciding opinion, like no one else can make the decisions for you. The people that love you can tell you what they think.
rest.
And I will, but not tonight. I am going to this dance, Clark. It is
That's the thing.
very important to me. And if you want to come with me, great, but I need you to get dressed.
Every step of the way, you're going to find another excuse. There is always a reason you can, especially the life she's living, how busy she is all the time. There's always going to be an excuse to not rest. You have to rest.
Okay, I'm listening.
She's tired.
Do it now,
Oh.
Jen.
Just wait for me, please.
Destroy the machine and the data. Take the drive out. Take the drive out or whatever. Ignore him. Jesus Christ. When you know Mannheim's doing this, how the fuck could you ever be like, well, he also does good things and just let him get away with it? Clark, destroy the machine. Destroy the data. Well done. Well done, Clark. Is he gonna get... yeah.
Too late.
Yes! This should have been what you did! That should have been the first thing you hit and then dealt with him.
Whatever you want.
Again, this boy just seems so sweet that I'm immediately like, I don't trust
Sorry
him.
about what I said.
Oh, Lana's gonna catch this and fly off the handle because Sarah's
It's your
drinking,
dad.
right?
This is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad only ever drank the cheap stuff.
Mom, I can't believe you. After everything we've been through, you go and pull something like this?
Mom, I'm not
took a
pulling
swig.
anything.
You've been
from a
out here
flask.
drinking all night.
Mom, can I
I understand.
You do?
I do. Just next time, no drinking.
Thank you. I was really worried that they were gonna continue this weird spiral of their
The dance is
relationship.
almost over.
Kids are gonna experiment a little bit with
Lois.
alcohol, and if you make them feel safe
I'm
enough to
here.
talk to you, to call you, it's okay to not be okay.
I want to go so badly, but I can't.
I know.
It's okay, I guess.
Hey, look, you've
Nothing
seen your
crazy.
babies all dressed
Please
up.
tell me you got pictures. Totally forgot. That was my one chance to see everyone dressed up and dancing.
They're literally dressed up right now. Let's get dancing.
Maybe not.
This is really lovely. I almost forgot how easily this show just makes me tear up.
Mind if I cut in?
By all means.
She would love to dance with you, sweetheart.
You cutie. You washed your hair?
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop.
This is what we're fighting for. Tell Jordan you love him back.
She just says she needs to see me.
To not do the article about Mayor Dean because he doesn't want to hurt the kid.
What's up?
I don't want to go public with that stuff about Dean.
Changed your mind.
Also, like, sweetheart, if you are pursuing something with Kyle, tell Lana. You just have to do it. Okay? If you are not, if it was a little bit of fun and you're okay with stopping it, maybe she doesn't need to know, but if you want to date him, tell her before she finds out another way, then she will be upset.
The George Dean Memorial Town Hall. Sounds nice.
That sounds very politicky.
So while you were fighting Deadline, the rest of Intergang was silently raiding the cupboards.
That's why I was telling him to fucking go for that first.
Only more dead.
For now.
Oh god. They're not bringing him back, are they? Oh dear. Yes, they're bringing him back. Okay, I adore this show, and when I say I forgot how easily it makes me cry, I mean, I didn't. It makes me tear up at least once an episode because I just love these characters so much. And I am still, personally, for personal reasons, so on the fence about the Lois cancer story, which is to say that I think it is being acted phenomenally, written really well. I think they're doing a very good job of showing the reality of what it is like when you get a diagnosis like that. So I'm not actually saying it's being done badly or that they shouldn't have done it, but I'm also kind of saying, like, this is a show about, I mean, yeah, it's a show about people at the heart of it. One of those people just so happens to be Superman. I do know that. But I also just feel like, you know, if right now was the period in my life where my mum had cancer, I would not be able to watch this show week in, week out because it would hurt me too much. I would be like, yeah, that's happening right now. If, God forbid, I had lost my mum to cancer, touch every fucking wood, I would not be able, this show would be, I could not watch it. Like, I just think it is such a, but then at the same time, you do need to tell these kind of stories. So I don't know what the answer is. And I don't know if I'm just being too into, like, reading too much into this or whatever. You know, because as much as this show I do and I have often thought is a show that would work if it was just like, you know, a show about some families and their lives and none of them were superheroes, I still think the show would work because of the strength of the characters and their relationships. I do also acknowledge that, like, it is a show about superheroes with a little bit of escapism. It's not necessarily a show you put on wanting some, like, gritty realism of how depressing and difficult the world is. It's maybe a show you want where ultimately you're going to see good triumph over evil and, like, some wholesome family dynamics along the way. So having this kind of very real world depressing plotline, triggering plotline, I suppose, because it's depressing because it breaks your heart for Lois that she is going through this. I have to believe ultimately she will survive the cancer, or I don't. Again, I'm not an expert on cancer. She'll live with the cancer for a very long time. Like, I have to believe this will not kill her, because that will be a turn off the show for me. But I just have such a personal thing of, like, this isn't that. This isn't the show that I thought this would come in. And while I think they're handling it really sensitively and really well, and they're doing a brilliant job of showing Lois's story, and even how, like, Clark struggles with it and like, kind of, they're doing a really good job of keeping it centered on Lois, etc. Like, I'm not faulting how they're doing it, and so probably it is actually a very good portrayal to have, because it isn't just like, oh dear, character gets cancer, now she's feeble and useless, oh, she's dead. Like, we're showing someone living with cancer, we're showing someone struggling with the realities of not being able to do what she could do before, which is very true of many illnesses. But at the same time, I'm like, this isn't what I watched this show for, and now I'm sad. But that being said, it's also making me have some, like, very heartbreaking portrayals, very emotional portrayals, and I do think it's a very good plotline, but I also don't wish they weren't doing it. But at the same time, it's like becoming the heart of the show. Like, I don't even know what I think about this plotline. What do you think about this plotline if you're watching this review? It is still an adjustment having the different Jordan. Like, it's weird at this point because I'm like, and it's exactly the same in the Wheel of Time season 2. One of the main characters has been recast, and in both cases, I'm at the point where it both feels really weird and completely normal, and, like, my brain is at war with itself about that too. My brain is just at war with itself today. I think him having the offer to help out in the firehouse is a good idea. I think given that we have seen him struggle so much with finding his place in the world, finding what he wants for himself, trying everything that is offered to him is only going to help him. And given that he's struggled with, you know, everyone else in his family saves people, even Lois with her journalism, and he doesn't, like, now he can maybe find a way that he can help people too. I didn't love Kyle's, like, oh, so you already go to school, have to do all of your homework, work every single weekday, why don't you spend all of your weekends at the fire? Like, he's a child. Kids deserve some free time. Like, if a kid is able to have some time off and have some fun, let them. Like, I didn't enjoy, I was already a bit like, maybe we could, like, swap out some of those shifts with firehouse stuff rather than, and then the idea of, like, oh, well, you know, if you don't want to do it and you want your weekends back, maybe this wasn't right for you. I actually don't think it was right for him, you piece of shit. He's a child. Now, of course, if he was 18 out of high school applying for a job and being really picky about what days he couldn't do, that is totally different. That is when I would be like, yeah, maybe this isn't right for you. But he's a kid going to help you out and gain some experience for himself. Like, it didn't sit right with me fully. On the whole, I think it was a very lovely offer by Kyle, a very thoughtful offer. It showed that he kind of had assessed Jonathan and seen, his character and his strengths, and that it would help him. Perhaps he even sees a little bit of himself in Jonathan, the kind of jock who doesn't quite know what he wants to do with his life. So I'm not hating on Kyle in general. I thought it was a very positive situation, but I didn't like the way he acted as though. I just enjoy the mannerism he had with it. I am sad Candace is moving so far away, but at the same time, Boreals isn't the worst. And she's moving in with family. The way they were talking, it sounded like it was until she can find an apartment to rent. Like, I really thought they were kicking this girl out to fend for herself, so I am glad she's going to family. Makes me wonder where her family's been all this time. Long distance can work, and like I've been saying, it's the 2020s. People meet online from across the world and fall in love and form relationships and are only able to meet up in person for short snatches of time before they are ultimately able to be together. So if they really are in love, if this love is true and enduring, they will be okay. I'm not saying it is easy for people, I'm not saying it's easy for those people, but like, it is possible to do it, more so than ever with the wealth of technology we have to keep in contact with long distance. I mean, it's not romantic, but like, one of my best friends, the one that I spent the last 2 weeks with when she came to visit in England, lives in Canada. We met online. We have now met, spent a couple of weeks together, 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 times, I think. I'm not even count. And I've treasured every single one of those moments, and it breaks my heart every time we separate because you're so far away. But I speak to her every day by text, and whenever we're both available, we're online together. It is even my friend that lives 2 hours away in England, the same thing. Their relationship can survive this, and so I'm very glad that when he mentioned that it would mean that he couldn't do the firehouse thing, and that she both encouraged him to do this because it was important to him, but also didn't try to act like, oh, we can never be together now, it's so terrible. She was just like, we'll make it work. And obviously I'm sure we're going to see him struggling. To be honest, I'm just not happy that they're like, this boy gets no free time. But I think this hopefully will be good for him. Not Candace moving away necessarily, but him having this kind of stability, a sense of purpose, trying out another career path, see if it's for him. I just want Jonathan to find his place in the world and to just, if anything, he's 16, he doesn't have to find his place in the world, but to find a place where he is at peace with himself. Jordan, just very sweet this episode, just lots of running around being sweet, looking at Candace, oh, she's using the hot water, she's my enemy. Just Jordaning around. I am still baffled by the choice of the actor to play Junior. Did the actor they originally hired pull out and so they had to find someone else? And again, I want to say that I actually thought the actor playing Junior did a very, very good job. Often, one episode actors maybe aren't the best, largely because they haven't had the chance to work as much, but he did a very, very good job. So I'm not critiquing the acting or the actor. I'm kind of critiquing the casting choice of someone that doesn't even remotely look like a high schooler. And I know you've got to suspend disbelief. No one in this show is actually a high schooler anymore. Maybe some of them still were, but they were. I think even the younger cast members were a couple of years older than the character they were playing when they were cast. But it just seems odd to me. I genuinely assumed he was mid-20s to 30s when we first saw him. And that when he was like, oh, Sarah, we haven't hung out much. I was like, yeah, you weirdo, she's a kid. But no, they are both kids. I was glad Lana didn't take a harsher response with Sarah. The way they've been writing these two, I was bracing myself for her to fly off in a rage about how Sarah could be out here drinking all the time. And I'm not going to hear it, young lady. You're despicable. So I was actually very glad when they just had Lana listen to Sarah, appreciate the good things Sarah had done, and then be like, maybe don't drink, because underage drinking isn't the best thing. In general, as a rule, if you make alcohol this absolute forbidden wonderland to children, they're gonna want to drink. Whereas if you're kind of okay with them drinking responsibly and letting you, I mean, 16, Sarah's still 15, isn't she? That is quite young. But, like, you know, as she gets older, like, if she knows that you are someone that she can, if she does go out to a party and get a little bit too drunk, if she, you know, she can call you at 3 a.m. for a lift home, that is so much better than her attempting to drive herself home. Like, create a safe environment around drink. But in general, I was happy with that interaction between them, given the way that they forgot who these characters were earlier in the season. Given how skittish Chrissy is about being with Kyle and Lana finding out, I suppose if people talk about them dancing or there are videos of them dancing, that could just be two friends having a silly time. But if she's actually pursuing a relationship with Kyle, she needs to talk about it to Lana. And again, I don't necessarily think, oh, she's broken girl code or anything like that. I think if she really wants to date him, fair enough. If she can look past the fact that he cheated on his wife of a long 20-something years, you know, more power to her, because, yeah, no, I don't know that I could. But, you know, like, if that is something she feels comfortable with doing, then she just needs to say, look, Lana, this is a bit awkward to talk about, and I really hope it doesn't jeopardize our friendship in any way. But, and I didn't really plan for it to happen, but Kyle and I are seeing each other, and, you know, it's very early days right now, but I thought you should hear it from me. Because at this rate, she's going to freaking find out some other way. The fact that they built it up so much, she's going to find out some other way. Probably slap her too, given how the writers are working. But also, it's very Chrissy, who I really like. Admittedly, other than not telling Lana, she's been alright. And I did respect Lana's decision to ultimately not publish it in the paper. It is so hard because ultimately she's getting a lot of hate and conspiracy theories for stuff that she didn't do. But all it would do is break that boy's heart even more to have his father's name bad mouthed in the press, and kind of his memory is all he has left of him. I don't know what the right thing to do is fully. I think there would be some merit to publishing the story, potentially going to see the family and just saying, like, I'm really sorry, like, these are the facts I found out and people deserve to know. But if anything, I feel like potentially his family should put out a statement in support of Lana. Not the kid. I assume he had a wife, a sister, a brother, a friend, you know. Smallville is a fickle little place, isn't it? Like, the way it's like 1 minute it's like deifying Lana, the next minute it's vilifying her. Like, I wouldn't want to live there, to be honest. From season 1 onwards, they've shown themselves to be quite mean people. Thinking of plotlines I have missed. I don't trust Natalie's new boyfriend. With a big asterisk, that is, I don't trust anybody. Anyone new that comes in particular, anybody new that comes in and is just really lovely, I don't trust. I am hopeful that it is just going to be a storyline of Natalie acclimatizing, fitting in, finding her feet, finding her place, getting to be a kid. That is what I am really, really hopeful we're going to get, but I'm very scared that he's secretly evil. And again, if he is secretly... Oh, actually, no, scratch that. I was going to be like, if he is secretly evil, how would they know about her connection to Superman? But they don't need to know about her connection to Superman. They just need to know about her connection to John Henry Irons. And yeah, the bad guys know about him. So no, maybe he bad. I don't know. I just don't trust him. He's too perfect and wonderful. I feel like I've missed... I mean, they stole the stuff. They've got Bizarro Superman. I'm very concerned about this. I feel like in general, Mannheim is that kind of villain that, yeah, he's better than like just an out-and-out villain, and I do think he probably truly believes he's doing the right thing, but so many of his actions are so clearly criminal that it absolutely baffles me that he can have such a I'm a good person complex going on. And I know it's like he cares about people in his little area of Metropolis and everyone else can fucking die is kind of how he seems to operate. And again, it's one of those things where, as a villain, his origin story of becoming a villain, his mother's sickness, the company not doing anything, that is barbaric, hideous, a huge crime. Becoming an even worse villain than the villains that hurt you in the first place is not the right answer. And then doing good deeds and being like, but you see, I may have done, you think I've done bad things, but here are the good things I've done. Yes, okay, but you're still doing the bad things, and all you're doing is jeopardizing all the good you're doing, because as soon as your bad things are exposed and you are taken down, all of those good things potentially go away. Like, he's irritating me. I just hope Lois stays strong, keeps going easy on herself. You know, one of my least favorite things, and it's something my mother has often talked about as well, we talk about it together a lot, is the phrase of battling cancer and somebody losing their fight, losing the battle, because it's not a battle. Ultimately, like, either the medicine works or it doesn't. I imagine there is some degree of willpower involved as well, but yeah, Lois just needs to acknowledge her body's new restraints, the fact that it does need rest, that she can't do as much as she could before, but still find the way to live her life. And she's in that process at the moment, that kind of, it's all very new. And she needs to figure out just how much she can do and how much she can't do. And so I love them. I mean, those idiots not taking a single freaking picture, it was their one job. But I love that they then sort of did a little dance for her. And she did get to see everyone in their outfits. And she did get to see that Jordan had washed his hair. So that was very, very lovely. I do adore that family with everything I have. A reminder that you can find all of the reactions to this show unedited on my Patreon. And thank you so much for watching.